Obviously, it is being renegotiated. We think trade, whether it be NAFTA or elsewhere, is a good thing. It's been one of the core principles of Cargill since we were founded in 1865. And the American agricultural economy has benefited significantly since NAFTA was put in place in 1993. Agricultural trade has gone from roughly $9 billion in '93 to close to $39 billion today. So it's been very good for the American agricultural economy. Relative to what I expect to happen, I agree with what Steve Mnuchin said, Secretary Mnuchin. I'm hoping for a win-win, and I think we're going in there. It's a 24-year-old agreement. It needs to be renegotiated, but I see no reason why all three countries can't benefit from a renegotiation.
Mr. MacLennan, is it true that agriculture has a lot of subsidies, U.S. agriculture, built into NAFTA? In other words, is the biggest risk from your point of view that we do away with it and all of a sudden there's a free market price that could be really damaging on top of the declines we've already seen across the farm economy?
I think all agricultural economies have subsidies, Kelly. I don't see that as something endemic or specific to NAFTA. I think the benefit of NAFTA is subsidy-free, tariff-free trading amongst the three countries. Mexico and Canada are number 1 and 3 trading partners as it relates to agricultural products. Canada being number 1, Mexico being number 3, China happens to be number 2. So I see it as looking at NAFTA per se as being good for the ag economy because of trade. It supports jobs, and the numbers have shown how agricultural trade has grown since NAFTA was put in place.
Are there particular products, crops or other, that you feel are essential to trying to either improve the terms or to kind of defend when it comes to your business and when it comes to U.S. agricultural exports?
Well, I think U.S. agricultural exports, in particular corn, soybeans, beef, and pork, and those that were involved in 3 of those 4. We're not in the pork business anymore. But particularly to the first 3 are ones that we are paying particularly close attention to. But those goods move in both directions. So, for example, canola seed and canola oil comes out of Canada into the U.S. So agricultural products in all 3 countries have been beneficiaries of NAFTA. And that's why we think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for jobs, and it's a good thing for agricultural products.
To keep it in place. By the way, we're also trying to renegotiate, and perhaps bilaterally, a lot of U.S. trade deals now that it seems like these big global agreements aren't going to move forward. So how should we be doing that? I mean, again, it seems like the hang-up for every time we try to do something, whether it's in Australia or with partners in Europe, always comes back to the agricultural industries. I mean, are these that important for every nation to protect their own instead of trying to, kind of free this all up, clean that out, and move forward to I don't know what they say would be a more modern economy where you don't run into these hang-ups every time?
Well, I mean, think about it. It's relative to jobs and the agricultural economies in any country, it's farmers. And, farmers have a tough job. They've got things like the weather, as we're seeing in Houston, to deal with. But the fact is, it's about food and getting nutrition to places of need and getting nutrition and food, agricultural products from where they are grown. Something about TPP is it took a long time to negotiate it, and we got it. The negotiators got to the point where it was ready to go, but the new administration made a decision that was not in the best interest, or that was not something they wanted to proceed with. So it can be done, and I think to your point about bilateral agreements, it's a lot harder and time-consuming, or it can be, to negotiate a bilateral. That's why, in the case of NAFTA, tripartite, or in the case of TPP, where you had multiple countries participating, there's more efficiency, there's more scale, and while maybe it takes longer for a multi-party agreement, nonetheless, it proved it can be done, and it showed it can be done with NAFTA.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.